Quindi alcun ricordo, no?
Please mute. Hello, everyone. I'm Jim Garrison, and I want to welcome you to day 327 of Humanity Rising. We've been broadcasting since May of 2020, and we made a commitment that we were going to stay live for people all around the world for as long as the pandemic lasted. And the pandemic, as you all know, is still with us, and so is Humanity Rising. And over the 18 months now, we have covered virtually every conceivable issue that is relevant to our world. And this week, we're focusing on the way of the shaman, which is arguably the most foundational category of being that the world needs to consider in the face of Code Red and our climate emergency, within the context of which we are all experiencing rising ecological turbulence, in the face of which our governments can no longer secure stability. So we're in an acute situation, what the Secretary General calls a catastrophic pathway. And there is no imperative, no challenge greater than for humanity to realign with nature. And that's where the shaman comes in. Because since time immemorial, it has been the shaman that speaks the language of nature, speaks the mother tongue, and also speaks the language of society. So in our current situation, listening to the shamans, listening to the indigenous mind is the pathway back to the unity we need to recreate in order to save ourselves from ourselves at this time. We are very privileged to be working with the Jaguar Path for this week of sessions with Ray and Nina Crist, who are the founders of the Jaguar Path. We introduced them more formally yesterday. Ray has been studying shamanic practice for many, many years, and Nina has been studying the martial arts. And together, they offer courses, including courses that they'll be introducing into Ubiquity University's course catalog beginning this November. We're hoping to build a whole master's program on the shamanic way of being into the world. Today, we're going to be contemplating Yatse, a way of thinking, and we're going to be experiencing thinking from the vantage point and the portal of the heart. The deepest thinking emanates out of love. Ray and Nina, thank you so much for convening these sessions. So I now want to turn it over to Ray, who will provide our opening meditation. Ray, Nina, thank you.
Hello, Jim. Hello, everybody. Thank you, Jim, for having us over. I feel it is really important now, more than ever, and what you're doing is so important. We're talking about thinking today and about thinking from the heart. I will begin by introducing Dona Juanita, who is a renowned shaman and in the whole of the Sacred Valley and in Peru. Juanita brings with her the power of the Mother Earth and shares with us a way of thinking from the heart. My job, as I've been working with Don Francisco and Dona Juanita, who are a couple, as we are working with them, since I met them in 2006, we've been diving deeper and deeper into how do we change our mind? Jim, you said something in your introductions. How do we save ourselves? How do we save ourselves from ourselves? And that is exactly right there where the shaman awakens. How do we awaken the shaman within so we begin to think in a different way? But with all respect, let me introduce Juanita, and then we'll go deeper into the thinking in a new way or an ancient way of understanding. Bienvenido, Dona Juanita. Welcome, 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 Mari Carmen will be our translator. Mari Carmen is an awesome archaeological site guide who knows the history, the traditions, the Incas way, knows every archaeological site in the whole of Peru and has deep knowledge and deep love for the culture. Mari Carmen, I think if you'd like to turn on your microphone, we'd love to hear your voices. Welcome. Bienvenido, Dona Juanita. Buenos días.
Ñuqa sutimi q'ero hatun q'ero llaqtamanta Juana apasa qhapa.
She say good morning with everybody. So she's very happy to be here with you, and also with all the people that they are sharing this emotion space that we have now. She said also that she came from Queros, which is one of the nations of Peru, one of the Andean nations, and she's very happy to share with you all the experiences that we are going to share now.
Bienvenido, gracias Juanita.
Muchas gracias.
¿Tú quieres un poquito, yo abrir dirección en inglés y después tú abrir dirección en quechua, ¿sí?
Okay.
I will opening directions that we did yesterday, beginning to understand how we invoke the power animals to awaken our consciousness in 4 directions below and above. We see this as a meditation and as a shift of consciousness that happens through the process. To the winds of the south, Pacha Mama, great serpent, be here with us. Wrap your coils of light around us. Teach us how to shed our skin and let go of the past. Remind us our connection to Mother Earth as you always feel her as a living being, belly to belly with her. Be here, serpent. Awaken us to change, the change that we need to bring upon to save our planet, save our habitat, our home. Horpichai. Turning to the west. To the winds of the west, Otorongo, great Jaguar, be here with us. Teach us the way of no fear in this world or the next. Teach us the way to awaken our energy to sensitivity, that sensitivity that you have in your paws, so we can feel the energies. Teach us the way of power, clarity, and directness, that you have in your claws, so we can live a life in action with no fear. Be here, Torongo. Allow your heartbeat to echo in our heartbeat. Horpichai. Turning to the north. To the winds of the north. Sweet hummingbird, Colimbri, be here with us. Bring back the sweetness. Teach us how to fly back and to heal the past, so then we can move forward and easily dart left and right to collect nectar of life. May your sweetness bring sweetness to our solar plexus. May your sweetness in knowing how to navigate from flower to flower be what we become, to know to find those sweet experiences of life. Be here. Allow us to connect with all the nectar of life. Horpichai. Turning to the east. To the winds of the east. Great Condor, rise upward, spiral upward. Teach us how to fly above and how to see the greater picture of our life, and from there make better informed decisions. Teach us and remind us that we're connected to the divine as you are always, flying wing to wing with a great spirit. Horpichai. Reaching, feeling through your feet, Mother Earth below you, that holds us always. Santa Terra Pacha Mama, Dulce Mamita. Thank you, sweet Mother Earth. Thank you for all your gifts. Thank you for giving us the elements to build our body. Thank you for giving us the nourishment to sustain our body. And thank you for giving a home for us to return the body when we leave. We're here gathering in a moment of crisis. We're here listening to the elders who have come down from the mountain to warn us, to teach us, to remind us how to be sweetness, how to be love, affection, appreciation. The elders we bow to, that they teach us how to bow to you, Mother Earth, and to appreciate and be grateful for your flowers, your fruit, your vegetables, for your rivers, your lakes, your seas, your mountains, your deserts, your every gift. Thank you, Mother Earth, for holding us in one space as we gather today here in this gathering to learn more about you and the ways that we can come back to respecting you so we can bring balance back to you as an ecosystem, you as our home. Horpichai. Intitai ta mama tia. Father, Son, thank you for being here. Thank you for shining your light upon us, for bringing that light of prana, of chi, of life force that awakens us, that makes us stand on our hind legs and want us to move upward in an evolutionary direction. Thank you for sending your fire so we can burn old contracts and begin to live in balance again. And Mama Kia, thank you, Grandmother Moon, for your unconditional love, for reminding us the sweetness of the girl, the beauty of the woman, the wisdom of the grandmother. May we awaken, and when we pause our life and reflect, may we learn from you that quality of reflecting and seeing what's true and sweet love. Horpichai.
Horpichai, horpichai.
And bring your hands to your heart, bowing to Juanita. Por favor, abrir dirección en quechua.
Gracias.
Mother Earth.
No translation necessary, Maria.
Yana Pawaikito, Kalpaikita, Hoyomaiko, Pacha Mama, Soma, Charitoiko, Muchachota, Sinapa, Napaitota, Wenjaiko, Sacha Mama, Hampui, Tomata Kalpaikita, Hoyoiko, Pacha Mama, Mireseno, Pacha Mama, oh, Opiso, boy. Hatun Puma, Yana Pawaiko, Kalpan Jawaiko, Kalpakita Hoiko, Hatun Mereseno Puma, Hampui, Even Somata Mas Arim Jaiko, Hampui, I don't think so, you don't Puma Kona, Hampu Muchi, Yana Pawaiko, Kalpan Jawaiko, Samin Jawaiko, Somata Kito Raiko Nama. Kalpata koiti, samin jaiku, hampui puma. Oh, you are inte. What I do, what I do, tomata. You are inte, hatong inte. Kalpaita koitu moaiko. Mirisino inte, hampui. Hato merecino, kami ya chainio, atinio, kakunti. Sivar inti, warpaikia, wakai to hampi, abuti, nyanya ikonapa, tura ikonapa, somaki kurpupas, imasumata, yana pechapache, saminche, we will compartate, somata, hato yangaininte, hampui, sisa, dino mesote, hampui. Yana pechapache, Waiki, hampui, hatu waiki. Sergente, orpiso, añay. Hatu puntur apuchin, wakai moaiko, hampui, kalpaikiman manya kumuiku. Hampui, chito, raikonapa, tomata, yanapa, kalpache, kiña, añaita. Tomata, kalpanjeki, yanapaiki. Urtichiki, hatun puntur apuchin. Ay, hampui, kalpaikita koitu maiko, hatun kalpaikita mereceno. Wow, ortito, añay.
Ali
Pachamama,
Yancho.
yana pawaiko, kalpacha waiko, Pachamama, Pachamama, Una Mama, Uchi Mama, Hampui, kalpachita kuikuaiko, Apachucha Mama, Suma, Kami, hatu wati ni kwenki, hatu yangenyi kwenki, Pachamama, medicine nusta, Uchi Mama, Unanga yana pawai kalpachawaki, turai kunata yana pa kalpachaki hatun kurputa, kalpanchaki, saminchaki, hampui, Pachamama, kalpachita, uipuaiku, hatun kalpachita, merecenukita, hatinikita, yachanikita, monanikita, llanganikita, uipuaiku, Pachamama, nota mama. Oh, upiso fui, añay.
Horpicha es un flor.
Yatu segera pucha, wakantanka, chilla mama, hampui. Kanta kita poitumuaiko, samin kaituaiko, kawari waiko. Ki nyanya itunato, tomata kawari. Yatu segera pucha, wakantanka, apuna apa kantatu salkantai, wana pichu, pichu, tirai. Hampui, estás nessa puna, hampui, limalhasta, tanto mengapo, hampui, amanita popune, afsangati, sarasirai, hampui, apupuna, apu minha, istai tromaquilha, teltai kita koitumaiko, kito, reituna panyanetuna pagato gorpupa, koitumaiko, orpiso, anyai. Oh, yeah.
Anyay, horpichai,
Horpichai Sankoi, Horpichai.
Ali Yancho. So I would like to share, as before we dive in, just a couple things. As I've been working for more than 16 years with Don Francisco and Juanita and the other shamans you'll meet in the next few days, I've been slowly initiated, and I received the initiation of a Pampo Mesayok in the beginning. That's the shaman of the valley, your first tier of learning. Then I became an Alto Mesayok of the mountains, of the high mountains, where I was initiated to teach in groups and countries. And I have also been given the title of Kerek Kulek, which is the visionary, the seer. I have been asked from this beautiful tribe of people that have not only saved my life, changed my life, blessed my life and our life, to teach, to share more and more. We mentioned this yesterday, but for those of you who are joining us today, the Quero Nations people are the direct descendants of the Incas. When the conquistadors came into the Sacred Valley, the shamans saw what that meant. The pale people with armor holding and hiding themselves were bringing shame and were bringing the end, bringing death. So they were, as high priests and priestesses, as the shamans holding the lineage, they took the lineage, the tradition, the wisdom, they hid up in the mountains at 16 to 18,000 feet. And now only in the 60s, begin to come down and say, this is the time for this that we held secret, this treasure that we held safe for humanity. This is the time for all of you to know. People talk to me and ask me, is it okay for us to be sharing their culture? It is more than okay. It is time. They're asking us. They have pressed me over and over again to teach, to share with universities, with as many countries as possible. We're moving throughout Europe, through Asia. We're sharing this work through the Jaguar Path, through beautiful organizations like Humanity Rising, like Ubiquity University, like so many others, to share this because this is human rights culture. It is a way of understanding who we are as a species. So let's back up and realize that here it is important that we receive the gifts that, as Juanita and as Francisco shared, Mother Earth knows no borders, no races, no colors, no ethnicities. We are all children of Mother Earth. And it is time for all of us to receive this culture, which is before culture, and especially before the cultures of Europe that brought the Dark Ages and that persecuted the feminine, persecuted animals, and persecuted magic. The phenomenon of this ecological destruction and economical collapse and cultural mess that we're in right now is a result of the persecution of the feminine, the persecution of the animals, and the persecution of magic. It's a result of a system that was set up and was said to be the only right one that was going to be imposed through colonialism through the rest of the planet. Today we stand, and I invite all of you who are here today to step up and say, I am human. I have a heart that knows no race, that knows no ethnicity, that knows no borders. I have a heart that is filled with love, and I want to protect our Mother Earth. I want to respect the feminine in all its forms, the nusta, medicina, nusta medicina, the medicine of the feminine, Mother Earth, our wives, our daughters, our mothers,
Our sisters.
our sisters, all of the feminine. May we awaken and realize and assume responsibility to learn what these people have come to teach us, to become earth keepers, to step up in the responsibility of what we do with our garbage, what we do with our emissions, with what we do in our life with our carbon print, and what we do with each other. How can we be love? So today we're talking about thinking, and we talked about yatsai a lot yesterday, and we're going to bring it into how do we think with our heart? What is a new way of thinking? This way that they've kept, a way of thinking by love. So, Dona Juanita, bienvenidos, bienvenidos. Muchas gracias para usted. ¿Quieres hablar con Munai por todos, por Pacha Mama, por otra persona? Let's hear you. If you can unmute yourself, please. Let me see. Yes.
Ya, intitaita, mamaquilla, monaita comonjes, ato monanacuita, anjay monjes, totapes, onjeta, indic anjay monjes, soma monaita, totata, anjay monjes, killa, monaita.
Perfect. Maria, could you please help us? Sometimes I understand the Quechua, and sometimes I don't understand.
Maria, can you move in a little bit? Can you move in? There you go. Thank you.
Good. So Juanita, Juanita's talking about of this unconditional love that exists inside of us. Is the greatest emotional demonstrations that the people can share with the environment. Also, it includes the spiritual and emotional affection that one has for fellow, and the deeper connection with one has with the nature and also with the Mother Earth. So for this nation, which is the Keros, so they believe that the Munai is one of the fundamental values that they have to make everything in their lives of those.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Oh, thank you, Maria.
Chinandata, soma monacuita, Juanjes, soma familianchis, Wawanchiswan, Warminchiswan, Uivanchiswan, Warminchiswan, Suma, Hato, Munai, Munanakui. Hato Munanakui, Munai. Yeah, that's it.
And also to practice Munai, she said that every one of us, we must to love by ourselves. And also we need to love our families and then extend this feeling to our communities and finally to the entire world.
Beautiful. And if I may translate again what I found through the years of working, and I haven't been asked by them to share, I feel that it's taken me years to find that love for myself to begin with. And I want to just remind or share this. It's like my initial motivation to be in the Sacred Valley seeking to find shamans was because I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer and I was given 3 months to live. In despair, I looked for miracle workers, for people that could save me, to do something that would save me. And in front of Francisco's feet, Juanita's husband, I said, please save me. And he said, I can't save you, but I can train you to become a shaman, and you can save yourself. And as I went through that, I thought I would be, to begin with, learning tools, how to use a rattle, the crystal, the feathers, how to invoke some kind of spirit. And all those are a huge part of it, and that took place too. But the most important thing is what Juanita is saying right now. What I began to learn from day one is that I realized that I didn't even know, I wasn't even aware of how to love myself. And it's almost, think about it, and I invite you to really be present in this today and this week, and be involved in bring in yourself now. How do you love yourself? Listen to this idea, not as an idea outside, not as an idea from another culture or a Greek translating Quechua to you in English, but rather it's like really feel into the words. How do you love yourself? How much and what the quality is. So Munai is a great quality of love that is called nusta medicina. It's feminine love because it's almost like motherly. It's like grandmother love, and it has the ground of respect, the ground of affection, acceptance, and admiration. You admire yourself. Begin to admire yourself, and don't worry about other people saying, "Oh, are you loving yourself? Are you egocentric? Or if you're a narcissist?" Or, love yourself, because when we love ourselves, we have a full heart. And with a full heart, we begin to love others. And we're able to love others. If our heart is not full, then we're demanding love. And we're demanding it perhaps not in such a balanced way. It is the lack of love that we experience in the Western world, is in my personal opinion, that makes us want to take more, in this unfilled place of taking more resources from Mother Earth. May we be love. May we realize we are love, and that we're filled, that we're fulfilled, that we have, and we have love excess for our brothers and sisters, our wives, our parents, and that we have love for our planet.
And witnessing Juanita and the shamans, the brothers and sisters of the Andes, their devotional love to Mother Earth, their devotional love and responsibility to be the ambassadors of this lineage, of this work, demonstrates, models a way of being that you may not have experienced before. And so listening to Juanita speak from her heart, her voice her heart is the seed of her voice, and the voice carries like the medicine of Mother Earth she talks about. For all of us to emulate the way of Mother Earth, to love our Mother Earth with unconditional love, so we can learn from that love of Mother Earth to love ourselves. And like Juanita and Ray were saying, that then kind of moves out from the heart, like beaconing out to touch our brothers, our sisters, our husbands, our wives, each other in the communities. Thank you.
Juanita, mucho más mucho más para Munai.
Rimaipis Munai. Nyawipis Munai. Simpis Munai. Sungupis Yajipis Munai. Sungupis Munai. Nyawipis Munai. Simpis Munai. Rimaipis Uyari Munai. Munai. Nyawipis Munai.
So she say that every part in their bodies, like the mouth, the noise, the mind, the body, the arms, the stomach, everything, the earth. So it's connecting with this principle of fundamental value, which is the Munai. So everything feels this emotion in their bodies. Also, this kind of unconditional love that they feel isn't found outside, isn't found. Father, it's inside of each soul that needs to be so and after and encounter it to create Kausai. Kausai is the harmonious living that all the people must look for. The Andean man has it brings of maintain this fundamental value and show to the world this kind of the activity that they have. So everything that they are going to do, so needs to be done with love, everything.
Hatun Munai, the great love.
Great love.
And Kashai is a beautiful term that means time. It's a beautiful word. And again, I want to reflect a little bit on this language, and I want to share with everyone the understanding that this crisis that we're going through is seen through all the animals that are going extinct, that have gone and are going extinct. But another phenomenon that's happened and is really clear to the anthropologists and should come to all of our awareness is that when tribes and languages go extinct, we, you and I, are losing our roots. Carl Jung, the great psychologist, said to feel that humanity is something that's just stepped anew now without connection to roots and archetypes is half of humanity, is a humanity lacking. So this language, exactly like Sanskrit, is a language that's not been tinted, spoiled, poisoned by the Spanish Inquisition, the witch hunt, the hunt against women, against animals, and against magic. It is important for us to realize that they're sharing this culture as human rights culture, as a necessity to be human in the right mind, to be human in the right heart, to be human in what they call aini, in correct relationship. And as Maria Carmen is sharing with us, she's saying the fundamental way of being in my arms, in my hands, in my heart. Love, Munai, is in my mouth, it's in my nose, it's in my ears. Who was the teacher that has not shared? Christ, the Buddha. And on deaf ears it's fallen, that love is a fundamental energy, a frequency and vibration that promotes a good state of being healed in the body, promotes a healthy way of thinking, acting, and being, coexisting, not only with each other, but with all the animals, all the plants, and all the medicine and the gifts of Mother Earth. We've pulled ourselves away from nature and locked in cities and cement, behind electricity and computers, cars and mechanics. We've lost connection with nature, and that only means one thing. We've lost connection to our own nature. So hence we see mental illnesses, psychological difficulties, even all that is happening. So let us bring back Munai and the feminine. Tell us what you were sharing earlier. You were sharing something beautiful about the feminine medicine.
Well, and I just wanted to say what Ray was just sharing, and Juanita, she was sharing, if you can feel it in her sincerity, it's about love in all parts of self and love in each action, love in action, love in motion. And when we have love in action, it's affection. And that affection is so powerful, it's a powerful medicine is what they share. And this medicine allows, when we share our personal love, this deep love and this like awe of life and this amazing experience of sharing with each other. When we have this affection and we have this love, we are able to dissolve the dis-ease. We're able to return to balance. And what the Keros refer to as aini, correct relationship to. When we're in correct relationship to ourselves, we're in correct relationship to Mother Earth. And we're in correct relationship to Mother Earth, we can be in correct relationship in our relationships to each other. And that is the microcosm to the macrocosm. It starts with the individual, it moves into the family, to the community, and beyond. And that is when we see the balance restored in our beautiful Mother Earth. And this urgency that we're all feeling, whether we're aware of it in the mind, in the body, or in our heart and soul, this is a moment for us to unite. And unite in our love for life, for existence. And Ray was asking me to share a little bit of the feminine power. And the word power is like this divinity, this sacredness. The woman gives birth. The woman cares for and nurtures and nourishes life. And we all possess the feminine, whether we're man or woman, and however we identify with ourselves, we all possess both the masculine and the feminine energy. In the Taoist texts that I am deeply connected with, we refer to the yin and yang. We have Father Sky and Mother Earth, and we are animated earth, which means we have the animation, the spirit of the divine, of the cosmos within the matter of this physical body of earth. And together with the masculine and feminine, we experience life. And so embracing the feminine, embracing the masculine with love, with affection, with action, allows for thriving, allows for balance to be restored. Thank you.
Pamba misatap sa munakui wa hamukulyami pamba misap soma hampi pamba misa kokakawa ninalyame munakungi hinaka munakuso hinaka hamulyawa sunis.
So she said that everything that she made, like the statues or the tables of ceremonies, so it's also made by love, so by this deeper love that they have in their lives. And also to try to connect it with some archaeological sites that we have in Cusco and in other countries too. So the balance in the lives of those, in the Incas time, it was present too, because they always believing in the dualist system, that it was believing it wasn't a male, it wasn't a female, it wasn't a right, it wasn't a left. So in some archaeological sites in Cusco, so we are going to see in the Inca planification this activity, which was the balance in the lives of those. So actually they don't lose this feeling, they don't lose this emotion also, because in the cathedral also in Cusco, so at the beginning of the conquest of the Spaniards to the Incas, so they were trying to conquest also the mind, the religions, because we need to understand that the religions that they were having at the beginning, it was not the Catholic, it was the pantheism. That is one of the technical phrases that the researchers talk about, that they were believing all the sacred elements. But after of the conquest, some artists, some indigenous artists, they don't lose this mind, this pensament, they don't lose that. They were trying to illustrate it, some Andean elements in the pictures. So that's why probably, so this great nation, which is the Keros, they are still living because they are keeping their traditions, their customs, their language, everything, it was kept by themselves.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Marie Carmen. Thank you for your deep knowledge and studies in this and working with Juanita. We'd love to hear more from Juanita and perhaps her lineage, if Juanita would care to share with our guests today, our audience, how she came into becoming a shaman and how she is sharing her medicine, the Nusta Medicina.
Remember.
Your microphone, please, Maria.
Llaqtay tupiqa kan asqu punchuychaymanta kamachita ruwayku llaqtay tupiqa ayna paqullawanpuni kapiyku mana waykuqa imatapis animalnikupaqpis chakraytupaqpis runa unqurikchipis runa wachakunanpaqpis anchik ñuqa huch'uychaymanta aynapun ñuqa yanapakuni apaysikuni tispachakuna aynapi yachani
Juanita learns.
yachanapun hasta uñachaymanta ñuqa yachani aynapun mamay taytay aynapuni kanku ruwanku aynatapun chay aynaman ñuqapis ñawita qhawaripuni tukuy sunquy munanchi yachani ñuqapis munakuni chiqaqta
She say that she learned this knowledge of to become a shaman, like a woman shaman, from their mothers. So making so many activities, maybe going to taking and picking some plants, roots, leaves, and also feeling this deep emotion feeling from the heart and also from the mind. From the grandmother, grandfather, so they learn about that of this medicine, of this kind of activity to healing to other people, and also feeling the deeper love to cure to other people too. No me escucho. El sonido.
Sí. Does Juanita want to say a little more, please?
By the time, so according to the time that they are passing by the mother and grandmother, etc., so they learning more about the medicine and also about cure and try to healing to the illness to other people too. In that point, they already gathered all the learning that they have. Can you hear me, right?
Yes, beautiful. And I think we're all listening closely and leaning in. What we're seeing here and what I feel that I've received the most as I began to heal from cancer was exactly that. When we're talking about a fundamental idea of love in a whole different way. And here I'm going to pause and go back and say, Munai, we could translate, says means love. But when you look into the semiology of these words of Quechua, very similar to Sanskrit, the depth of the meaning here says Munai is stay as you are. You are who you are. I love you because you are who you are. I don't want you to change anything to love you, to fully accept you, to fully admire you. I love you. And that quality of love is something that we don't know. It's something that's definitely enriched our lives and our home and everything we see and everything we hear. Because the other love that is conditional, and I want to say it's the love of need, is a love that can never be fulfilled, and is a love that needs other people to change. When we marry someone, and we marry everyone, the person that you're with for 10 minutes, that time you spend with that person. When with our sons, our daughters, our children, with our parents, it is our heart's desire to give them love, but rather than say, well, if you change that and that, then I will give you my full love. And I feel, and I say, maybe it's food for thought. Maybe sometimes we do that in the Western world. Maybe we think that things need to be changed. Maybe the colonialists thought that they had to leave Spain and find themselves all the way to Peru and change these people. Maybe people left from Spain and went to Africa and brought their religion and say, you need to change. And maybe no one needs to be changed. Maybe no one needs someone else coming from the other side of the planet telling them how to run their politics or culture or their religion. Maybe if we all love and accept each other in our differences, then we can really flourish. Then we can all know more languages, all receive more culture, more love, more affection. So Munai to all. Maybe we, each and every one of us, begins to cultivate this Munai, I love you as you are, to allow this filter that has been put in. And I think it is, again, I'm going to say that of the Spanish Inquisition, that fear that it was installed in our hearts, in DNA, in our memory, in cellular memory. So let us let go of fear and just be love. Be the change we want to be the love that we want to receive. And receive that feminine love. Juanita, ese perfecto, un poco más Munai.
Más medicina.
Más medicina, por favor. Más nuestra medicina. ¿Quieres hablar con nuestra medicina, con Mama Quilla?
Munai nata korhapita simuna kumanje waikilio mambune poima muna tokizungu muna mungere ali dan organisa pen suma paitasia na bang wasako shinjita pun muna mungere waikilio mai simuna mungere semua komuna tinggi semua komuna mampun Jaguar Path mana pun mana people name of it.
Pacha Mama, the great love. Okay, so she said that in the case of the healing, Munai is the deeper and emotional demonstration of this unconditional love. And also, she said about the Janantin Masintin, which is one of the words that they use for this integration of love that they have. She said that the 100%, they don't get it, because I think every one of us, we have different characteristics. We have different characters. That's why the people in those communities, they cannot get it, the 100% of this unconditional love. Probably the 80% they can get it. Because the 100% of this unconditional love, we are going to find in ourselves. In ourselves, we are going to get it, this 100% of this truly love.
That's beautiful.
In this expression of true love, of this Munai, of this connecting, I feel connecting with the source, the infinite source of the energy that Mother Earth offers each of us. In that connection, we can feel rejuvenated. We can feel this flow of energy move up through the earth into the heart. And I think for a moment, if you think back to being a child and running in a big field or arriving at a beach and the expansiveness and the spaciousness and feeling the heart open and expand and reaching out to touch the horizon, to the sky, that is when we're more in the 100%. Rather than moving through, I think of with sweetness, I think of getting in line in school and sitting and following the guidelines that have been set in our society. In this space of getting in line and trying to do the right thing, there can be almost, I think of sunglasses as these lenses that act as filters, and these filters filter out light from coming in and also filter out light from moving out. And when there's a filter upon filter upon filter upon filter, and I'll say guidelines rather than rules, but when we find ourselves in this space, and it might even be coupled with a little bit of fear of, if I step out of line, what will happen? If I speak out of turn, I will be in trouble.
To the fire.
In this space, our energy moves into the back body, into the amygdala, into the adrenals. And in this space, when the energy gets pulled back in that state of fight or flight, the heart will shut down. The connection to our sweet Mother Earth is obstructed. And only in a space of affection from our mother, whether it's Mother Earth or our true biological mother holding us, or a loved one holding us, can the energy move from the back body back into the front, into the heart, and into the prefrontal cortex, where we have our intuition and our inner knowing, and in our heart, where we think in this space of the heart, where it's not about problem solving and strategizing, it's about truth.
Knowing.
It's about knowing. And in this space, we can connect more with the 100% that Juanita's talking about, the purity, the pure, unfiltered connection, the pure, unfiltered connection to the sweet, sweet love of Mother Earth. And if anyone, I think of, in my teenage years, got a chance to do some camping or going out in nature, and any time, I even think of going out and being in the rain. Notice how Mother Earth offers us also sometimes a bit of discomfort, and then what comes up from that space of discomfort. Can we still keep the heart open and expanding in love? And that is the gift of being human. Truly being a human being. And think of that for a moment, of human being. Can I be? Can I be in Aini, in the space of alignment? Can I be in Munai, in this space of unconditional love? And that is the practice, and that is the gift that the Keros share with us. They share with open hearts, without fear, without cultural division. They say, brothers, sisters, I love you as you are, and here are the tools, here is the medicine that Mother Earth provides for all of us. We have preserved this knowledge. Let us share so we all together can unite and be in love.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Munai pani yang kata cium mana munai cep mana nabi munai juga na animals nabi tiga nabi munai cita karpari munai cita munai cita tiga nabi.
See, Maria, can you please come in a little bit more so we see all of you? Move your chair a little back. Nice. There you go. Thank you.
Also, she's still talking about this deeper love, which is the Munai, that it's considered for them one of the three most important fundamental things that they have in their lives. And also, she said that the Munai, after of this activity, which is the Muna, so she said that we need to protect our hearts, because if we don't protect our hearts, because actually in the world, the people are interested mostly in the material things. So they are not thinking about of their loves, of the Munai. So she said that we need to take care of this feeling, of this emotion in our lives, because it's the most important thing to try to confront every life's difficulties that we are going to have.
This is beautiful. Gracias, Juanita, gracias. I want to bring something in. Many are curious sometimes. They say, the Jaguar Path is a school of yoga shamanism and martial arts. And many people who, well, I guess the last 30, 40 years that yoga is so big in the Western world, and I'm going to coming back home to what we're talking about, love. This is important. It's like these shamanic practices are the same in Peru with different words as they are in the Taoist in China when we're talking about those who created martial arts and acupuncture and healing. You know, they're the same way that yoga talks about how do we heal our body and how do we live. These are three ancient, the most ancient technologies, sciences that study the human being. And I'm coming to love and to the heart and to what Juanita said. And this is my job, to say all this around. So we create a frame of mind of how we perceive this. So actually this information is not, oh, it was culturally interesting, we saw about the traditions of the Andes, but rather is what speaks to us and how do we begin to awaken. So when we talk about the heart and when we talk about fundamentally understanding that we need to love, it means that we're bringing the attention of the electricity, right? We're electrical and chemical beings. Let's remember this. This is what the Taoists and martial artists and Chinese medicine, the acupuncturists are all about, right? It's like, where's this electricity running? Through what meridian? What emotion is that meridian secreting? Do I have more fear, thus more love? Am I shut down? Like Juanita said, we are more holding on to the material rather than to protecting our heart and our love because of the fundamental lack of love we have culturally, is my personal opinion. We have been kicked out of the Garden of Eden. We are the only ones, the only culture and religion that's been kicked out of the Garden of Eden. No one else has been kicked out. We live here in the jungle of Costa Rica. This is the Garden of Eden. The sacred valley is the sacred valley. It's the garden that we all live and can live in. We live with God. May you call God moon, sun, earth, the closest and most familiar expression of God that creates the environment, exactly like Marie Carmen translated. Our environment is infused by love, and our not understanding of that creates a different way of thinking, and it is a, how should I call it? It's half way of thinking. If we don't think with our hearts, and this is where we come back to say that the yoga and martial arts view and see that if I'm thinking a specific way, I'm sending the electricity either back to the amygdala and to my fight or flight, to the adrenals, and that's where I live from, and watch where the world is living from now. If we all go up to Mama Quilla, the moon, and sit and look back down at the planet, I'm going to ask you, where does the world live? Do we live in fight and flight, in the amygdala filled with adrenal of fear of the end of the world? Or do we live in the prefrontal, the neocortex, and the heart? And saying, this is another blessed day. And the answer is obvious. And the teachings today of Munai, what Juanita is bringing to us and is sharing so we can become cultured, because we lack that culture and that depth, is that if I think love, electricity is moving right here and right here. I have already become the more evolved being. If I think fear, I go back to being the Neanderthal. I do not have the capacity, the electrical chemical capacity, to move to the front room where the view is better, the neocortex, the heart. So I can look at you, my brothers, my sisters, my mothers, my fathers, my sons and daughters, and say, I love you, and begin to create a reality that revolves around this pragmatic way of being, this realistic way of being, this fundamental way of being. Who was the teacher that came did not talk about love? All the teachers. For a specific reason, not for philosophical thinking and talking, but rather for biochemical understanding and perception of what life is and what it should be and how it can be.
And I love what you just shared. And when Juanita mentioned taking care of the herds, there is so much wisdom in that simple statement. Take care of the herds. Let go of the material, I'm going to say obsession.
It's obsession.
Let go of this. And it's not philosophy. This is not about philosophy. This is about a way of being. And one action at a time, we begin to shift this way. So letting go of focusing on the material and focusing on what can I do in love. And I think that if you're asking the question, if you're feeling and sitting and listening, asking the question, how can I apply this to my life today, right now, today, in this moment? How can I express love for myself? How can I express love to those around me, whether it's through my work, whether it's doing the dishes, it doesn't matter what it is. Can I do it with love?
It's beautiful. Juanita.
Yuata Rueta Munangi Cherry Wataps Walengi to this Songoja. This Songoja
Por favor, Juanita, hablar un poquito con Yachai Munai Yankai.
Yuata Munangi Cherry.
Juanita, remembers Munai Yankai.
Aha,
Munai Yankai Yachay.
Munai Yachay Yankai.
Sí, por favor.
Munangi Cherry. Chita Churagamia, Ustaichiran. Tukui Yachay, Tukui Munai, Tukui Yankai.
So I want to say this. Go ahead, Maria, and I can translate.
He said that the connection, so I mean in general, so just to make the concentration of this fundamental value, which is the Munai, they are connecting, with the Yankai, with the Munai, with the Yachai, because everything that they are doing in this activity are connecting. And also the Munai represent a state of consciousness in which love, desire, and power are unit, are connecting.
Wow. Is everyone hearing this? Is everyone hearing this?
And also, and also symbolize the love of the Creator for creation, the love of nature to self and neighbor. Also is considered, the Munai also is considered for them has the code of magic and alchemy. So it's considered for them like that because this code allows us to love, desire, and have the power of execution of this activity that they have. Ari. Okay.
So let me go over what Marie Carmen just shared, what Juanita shared, and say a little bit of a basic. One of the things that I was really surprised to find out. I was a yoga teacher and a yoga practitioner and teaching out of Kripalu Center for Yoga and Health since 2005. When I arrived in 2006 in Peru, I was looking to find out this other tradition, shamanic work that was, in my mind, different. They talked to me though about exactly these three notions of Yachai, Munai, and Yankai. And as I asked questions to Juanita and to Francisco, it's like, whoa, what's Yachai? What's Munai? What's Yankai? Tell me more. I realized that they're talking to us about Yachai, the mind, Munai, the heart and soul, and Yankai, the body. And I said, wait a minute, that's yoga, mind, body, and spirit. And what Marie Carmen just wonderfully translated for us, and what Juanita is saying is that we need to have heart, that the understanding of the shamans is that our actual existence, who we are, truly who you are, is that you're a soul, you're a spirit. You're a spirit living in a body and using a mind to understand reality. And when we live in the place of love, now I'm talking about chemistry, I'm not talking about some philosophy, oh, let's be love, let's all say namaste and tilt our heads. I'm talking about coming into our full power and our full consciousness. Notice what Marie Carmen said. To be in the place of love means to be in the place of consciousness, awareness. We're not pushovers. We don't tilt our head. We don't sweeten our voice. We are here to love seriously, to love without reservation, to love this planet and do what it takes to reverse the damage done, to do what it and the planet. In the same way, we start first at home. How can we heal those parts of ourselves that are not love, that are polluted by these notions of separation that do not exist, because the divine love, divine energy, God in any name, like Tantra Yoga says, there is no place you can go where God is not. Let me say that again. There is no place you can go where love is not. Yet in the Western world, scared by the dark ages, we live in an echo of lack of love. Have you ever felt insecure? Or have you ever felt like lack of self-confidence? That's where you want to go. It's not about you. It's not because you didn't do something right, or you didn't get something, you were not good enough, or you don't have it. You have it. We have been, I have it, you have it. We all have that love within us. That super self-confidence, soul level self-confidence. And that's what we need to bring to up our game as a species, so we can save our planet, so we can create a reality that is a beautiful reality, filled with love and understanding that love is the vibration that keeps cells together, cells, universes, the galaxies spinning. All that is, that glue is love. Who you are is love. So, gracias, Juanita, gracias. Un poco hablar más. Tu palabras es benedicciones. All your words are blessings.
Muchas gracias.
Final the papanjis monagotanjis hatan papanjis comanjis rikitokui tamonakos kita papai monakshan kit monakon ki pambam sat altum sat monakshan ki wawaikanat monakon tokui mandariki tokui songosman monakon hanakaj papas manyarikos pa somah ainat arwasaina ko somam karpi monakon isait monakon munai nyanyai torayo chay munai nad konapo ki wawa chay gnaps nyo kahina liang kakachu nyo kahina porikachu nyo kahina kolkikachu munai papayos ko imason chis munai ta munai liang gaita nispa Munai manyak sonsere. Munai ato munai. Puro songos mangamdi munai.
Yes.
So this great love, or this great Munai that she says, so is representing so many things. So probably loving to their family, loving to their community, loving to the people, because if they don't love by themselves, if they don't love, if they don't connecting this love with the people that they surround by there, probably they cannot trying to healing to other people. So it's very important for them to try to love and feel this deeper love to other people. But first, they need to feel this emotion in their environment, which is his family, the children, the brothers, the sister, everything in their family, they must be felt first. And then just to extend this feeling to other people.
That's beautiful. And I invite everyone's attention here to this, because coming through a university, through Ubiquity, running the Jaguar Path training for shamanism, as an academic study, as a study that is important to be spread throughout the world, as a fundamental way of being. We're returning into this place of what we're invited to, and notice in this world of love, there's a world that we can live in, a world of love, or we can live in a world of lack. Our environment, like every species expresses its being and its behavior by reacting to its immediate environment. So it is necessary that we, each and every one of us, is the generator of love. You know, when we're alone, say we're like without a husband and wife, we're seeking to find someone. We're seeking to find love.
Sure.
Maybe it is time that we begin to seek to offer love. And what the Keros so lovingly tell us is that when you become the generator of love, when you're the one that allows your heart to be open to radiate love outward, you're going to never be in lack of it. And the more you love people, the more you will be receiving it. Yes. The more you're giving it, the more you're receiving it. And the beautiful currency is this Don Francisco. His love is here. Love is in the air. Munai, Don Francisco. Venga. Entonces, yo quiero miro es tu cara.
Sí.
No escucha. Please open your microphone, Marie.
Hola.
Un poquito más, hablar un poquito más.
Tukui eche niyo, tukui munai niyo, tukui lanka niyo hatun puma chukuchinche.
Thank you. She's sending great love for your bodies, for your hearts. Great blessings and love for everyone that is here.
Munai sonko.
With love for the community.
Gracias.
So bring it here and becoming real. Again, this that we share, my mission is to share this. When I received my healing, I asked Jaguar Spirit, what do I need to do to stay cancer free? And Jaguar was right there. You need to share this with the world. You need to share every tool, shamanic tool that you've learned of how to heal, and every way of thinking as a shaman. Shamans are not different from you and I. The difference is that the shaman has taken off the cloak of fear that's been installed by greater powers, by the Roman Empire, by whatever religious great big supermarkets out there that have imposed and want to impose one religion for only one God to all people. Shamanism, I had a couple questions come in, and I'm going to say, what do shamans believe in religion? We can go culturally into that and anthropologically, a study of what the Incas believed, but what we have here today is not a religion. A shaman is the man and woman who loves the planet and the environment as is, who appreciates the food of God being Mother Earth coming right out, that fruit, the vegetable, that is God who's giving you love right now, and that apple you eat, and the quinoa and the cornfields, the potato fields of the Sacred Valley. Mm-hmm. God is the river, the water you're drinking from, the sun that shines upon you, that gives you life force. Mm-hmm. Let us talk and understand and realize, as God being the love, we can run through our own body. We can have, as guardians of our ears and our mouths, we need to guard what we say, what we hear, what we eat. We're invited to infuse that with love and clarity and balance, aini, being in correct relationship to. So I am thrilled in these 16 years of teaching this and becoming a shaman over and over again and losing my shamanism when challenges came and just lost everything again and again. How do I come back to know that I never can lose a thing? Because love is here. I am love. We are love, and that is what creates everything around us. That's what creates what Nina was saying, that there's filters. May we put on these love glasses to see the world, and love ears, and love mouths to share.
And I wanted to add, I think there's a misunderstanding. A lot of times in society, in the Western world, that love can be, or kindness can sometimes be equated to a weakness. And in this lineage, in being a human being, when we have true unconditional love for ourselves, it is a marker of strength, of power. So in whether we're looking at the Taoists that also see nature as this spiritual truth, a way of being, the Incas, the Pacos, these people connected to nature, think of where they're living and how they've survived all these years. It takes deep strength, not just physical strength, but spiritual strength, strength of the heart, strength of connectedness, and relying on one another with humility and saying, I can't do this alone. I need my brothers and sisters' support. And there's strength in our union. And that is something I have found as a woman growing up in America. I found that I wanted to show that I could do it myself. I can do it myself. And through my path and connecting with the shamans, I've realized that true strength, my true power, lies in my own unconditional love, really falling in love with myself and realizing I like support. It feels good to offer support, and it feels really good to receive support from others.
I want to take a moment.
Yeah.
I invite everyone to take a moment to feel into your heart, both men and women. This separation. But before I go to talk about that more, just like invite you, it's like feel the love and accept both your vulnerability and how you can say, hey, I could use a hand here. Thank you. Give yourself the permission and watch and see if you feel something happening here. Because we have Harvard Medical coming to tell us what the shamans have been telling us, falling on deaf ears of non-believers. Harvard Medical talks to us about HRV, heart rate variability, and talks about a heart that has a really big heart rate variability. And the more that variant, the more that open the heart is, the bigger the frequency it produces. And the more everyone around the person with the heart rate variability is willing to collaborate, to share, to be with. May we open to our vulnerability. May we not hold one way of being as the only one. Because the mind thinks in dualistic ways, we've created a black and white world. It's described by hell and paradise. Yet in most other religions that doesn't exist. Only paradise, and no one's kicked out. May we feel, I also feel it's the wisdom of Christ that I believe as named Ray Crist. I feel really close to the Christ energy. And I'm looking at him, and in my meditations with the shamans, I see the last image that Christ gave us of being resurrected. Maybe an image we can have in all of our churches, Christ floating upward with angels and light, rather than an abundance and love and eternal love, rather than a cross. Maybe we don't need to be on the cross anymore. Maybe we need to catch up with Christ energy. Maybe we don't need to believe in that symbol of a crucified God, but rather a God that's telling us, I am resurrecting, I rise above all this with absolute forgiveness for those who took my body or tried to. Absolute love for everyone, for all beings. May we feel that resurrection, and may we be humanity rising, like Christ rising, like Buddha rising, like Donna Juanita rising. In our full expression of our humanity, our ability and our right to be free, without judging anyone with our decisions or needing to change anything. That's the world that is a world of love, that will reflect kindness to all beings, all species, to the environment itself. The world of love is a world of being smart and not greedy anymore. But I want to give it back. Thank you all for your beautiful comments. I want to bring it back to Juanita. Does she want to offer us a blessing of love? Por favor, Dona Juanita, ¿es posible una benedicción para Munai por amor por todos corazón? How can we all have love in our hearts? Is there a blessing you can give us that we can help us maybe take off a little bit of fear, take away a little bit of not knowing? Maria, use your microphone on.
Yes.
Good, it is good.
Oh,
no?
Perfect.
Open your hearts and open your hands, everyone, to receive this blessing.
Soma, Kenya kana torai kana Soma konaka milita kongaku imas umasta. Ki misan hatun wintishun Soma mirseno misa. Bamba misa alto misa munai misa. Munai hatun sungunguma corazón ningumo ki munai sa. Waikutu nene kana pa torai kana pa. Soma inasoma kanirta ikin hatun wintishun. Wintishu. Munai wintishu.
Gracias, 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 gracias.
Paña makima loke makima, paña fortuna loke fortuna, icha fortuna maki. Santa vara nosta maki, paña nosta loke nosta. Munai, tataiki sanguma.
All the blessings for you and the participants that they are with you also. All the blessings, so much love and so much emotions in your lives too.
Thank you, thank you. And I invite here, if I may, Jim, if you'd like to join us and see if there's some questions that you have received, some questions that you may have for us as in this beautiful morning that you share with us.
Well, you've brought it to such a beautiful conclusion, Ray, with this blessing from Doña Juanita. I'm hesitant to ask any questions that would possibly put us back up into our heads. So my sense is that this is a beautiful place to stop, because we've come to our hearts, and our hearts is where we all need to end up today. So I want to thank you, and Doña Juanita, thank you so much, Maria, for your translations from the mother tongue and an undiluted language into the language of modernity. I just want to acknowledge you and thank you. And Nina and Ray, what a beautiful union you express.
Thank you.
Beautiful
Jim.
union, very deep. So thank you for that. And thank you, everyone. We'll continue our exploration of the way of the shaman tomorrow. And so we'll continue through Friday. So we'll have 5 full days of the shamanic way. And so we'll see you all here again, same time, same station on Humanity Rising. Bye for now. Thanks, everyone.
Blessings and love to all. Munai, Hatun Munai, great love.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias, Juanita. Hasta luego. Nos vemos.
Horpichai Sankoy.
Horpichai, horpichai.
Horpichai.
Aliyanko.
Es que terminan y cortan.